Hi, thanks for joining me for another episode of In the Garden with Josh Sam. So today we're talking about mycorrhizae and the power of mycorrhizae in your garden and yard or in your bedding plants, potted plants, that type of thing, and how we can best utilize them. Mycorrhizae really is talking about a beneficial fungus that lives in the soils, and I think the number is 95 or greater percent of all plants on Earth have a symbiotic relationship with this beneficial fungus. And the fungus provides the root cap, the very tip of a white root of a plant, with protection from pathogens of all different kinds. But they also, because the actual roots or the hyphae of the fungus grow in between the cells of that root cap, they're providing water and nutrients to that newly growing root to help support it, and also for selfish reasons to help it grow and divide, which is how the fungus is able to grow, because it cannot live by itself. And then the root in turn provides simple sugars and whatnot to the fungus so that it has its nutrients. So it's a wonderful combination, and it's the way that almost every plant in a forest environment would naturally develop. A seedling would drop or grow right at the base of the parent plant, and the taproot of the new plant touches the root of the parent and gets inoculated with this fungus and then goes. But in our environment, where we've got a garden that may not have mycorrhizae, or steam sterilized potting soil like almost all the bedding plants are grown, there's no mycorrhizae present. So the plants are forced to do it all on their own. But when you add some of these spores to the soil, the roots touch them, and now they get started in a good symbiotic relationship, and it affects them the whole rest of their lives. So the challenge with the mycorrhizae was always that it was a real fine powder with millions of these tiny spores, and you'd be trying to put the powder in a planting hole in the wind, or you sneeze because it's springtime, and half of your dollars go blowing away in the wind. When the Dr. Jim's group came up with this tablet concept, they really did solve a lot of real problems and made this really simple for regular people to use. The way that we solved the issue with the powder was by taking some technology from a totally different piece of our store. We built a dog tablet called Enzam. We just said, I wonder if we took that mycorrhizae powder together with a couple of other ingredients that would help roots develop, and put it into the dog tablet machine and see if it makes a tablet. And of course, it turns out it does. It makes a perfect tablet, and that's how this thing came to be. We thought we'd show you really quick how our prototype press rolls these tablets out beautifully and makes the wonderful planting product. Maybe my favorite part about using this machine on the planting tablets is we're not using any chemical binders or flow agents. So we've got a tablet that breaks apart very easily the second it starts to get moist, and turns right back into the powder the way we want it to be, so that it can help plants get started faster. So I thought we'd take 2 of our 3-2-1 grow tabs, throw them in this glass of water, and see what happens to them. So here we go. That's going even better than I expected it to. These have been in the water probably less than 30 seconds total, and without any agitation or anything, these things are literally just turning into a pile, which is exactly what we want them to do in the soil. Dr. Jim's makes this very easy for you to understand how much you need to use per plant. For a small plant, 1 tablet. For a medium size, 2 to 3. And for about a 1-inch caliper tree, 1 pouch per tree. It's as easy as that. When you're planting bedding plants or vegetables, the tabs are so simple. You've got your planting hole, in this case a pot. I'm just going to put 1 tab in, and my bedding plant goes right on the top, and I'm done. I don't have to mess around with powder or anything else like that. Now that you know the power of mycorrhizae and why you might want to use it in the yard, why don't you come with me and let me show you the history of how this tablet came to be. We're at the Dr. Jim's Product Testing and New Product Development Laboratory and talking about the history of the 321 planting tablets. Mycorrhizae are a very useful tool planting. We're challenged by the fact that they're very small propagules in a dusty media that has a tendency to blow away. And the first iteration of the Dr. Jim's planting tablet actually involved use of what we call a bolus. And this is a gelatin capsule, much like a giant human vitamin that you wouldn't want to have to swallow. You can take the mycorrhizae powder and put it inside this bolus casing, and we did provide a pretty easy way for someone to use the powder underneath a tree. So with the dog tablet press, we were able to take this pile of powder and to turn it into these 8 clean, easy to use tablets. So when you're in Zamzows this spring, picking up your bedding plants or your garden vegetables or your trees and shrubs to plant, don't forget to take home a pouch or 2 of 321 Grow Tabs. For $2.99, you can plant 8 bedding plants or vegetables, 1 big tree, or 2 or 3 shrubs. What a value. Thanks for watching.